Hey guys, time for another easy sub 3 guide. Before we get started, I'd like to remind everybody that I do stream on Twitch, and if you guys are needing help with sub 3s, I'll be live right when this video gets posted. If you guys want to hop in the stream and get some help with sub 3s, more than willing to help. We help people with sub 3s every single week on Thursday, and anytime I'm streaming, I'm willing to help people with sub 3s. So if you guys want to get some help, hop in the stream and ask. Now let's get on with the video. This week's trials is Ragetail Gnasher. His modifiers are Static Shock, Leaf Shield, Jagged, and Fury. Static Shock causes him to spawn pylons around the map that shoot out electric balls at you, sort of like Nezaga. And Remain has the exact same mod. I see a lot of people worry about the pylons, but this is actually a trap. You're never going to be able to stomp them all. You're just going to constantly be killing the pylons and never doing damage to them. So just ignore the pylons entirely. Keep in mind where they are on the map and just try to position yourself so that Gnasher is in between you and the pylons. And this should keep you safe for most part. Leaf Shield is just like Koshai's Leaf Shield. It's going to be a major problem versus this fight, not having stamina, and anytime you're going to be inside that Leaf Shield and he's going to be tail slapping, you're going to immediately want to get out. Not having stamina and trying to dodge tail slaps is a deadly combo. So our best bet to deal with this Leaf Shield is to stomp it as quickly as possible with projectile damage, or interrupt him either via a stagger, an interrupt, or a part break, and get rid of it as soon as possible. Jagged and Fury are both mods from Heroic Ragetail Gnasher, so you should be familiar with them, and they don't change the fight significantly in my opinion. Moving on to the builds, the first build I have for you is a Malkarian Striker build. My Malkarian Strikers are bonded with Drask. This is going to give us that extra damage to the head. And the reason I went with Malkarian Strikers for this build is because I was looking for a shock proc, as well as an easy opener on Gnasher. Just being able to teleport on him and start striking away. And we're of course using Titan's Crash and Cyclonic Strike Plate. Here's the gear that you'll need for this build. Of course, going with Pinger Lantern. And to go over the cells really quickly, we're rocking 6 Aetheric Attunement, 6 Iceborne, 6 Overpower, 6 Rage, 6 Rage Hunter, 3 Discipline, and 3 Wild Frenzy. Pretty standard build with Iceborne included, just in case we get hit by anything, we can easily heal up, as well as the extra defense is very useful. There's no inclusion of Callus in this build because the Aetheric Attunement is auto included on the Drask Strikers. So I just went for the 6 Aetheric Attunement and dropped Callus entirely. It does mean you'll have to repot during the fight, but I don't think it's a big deal, and I actually preferred this build over the next build. The other build I have for you today is a Hellion Striker build with the Legendary Strikers. So we have the Toric Strikers bonded to the Hellion Strikers, giving us that 3 overpower and the damage on every 8th hit. This is an extremely powerful unique effect for damage and will really help us with our time. But we won't be getting the shock proc, so it will hurt our time overall. But I think this is a really good option as well. This is the gear required for the build, of course with Pinger Lantern again. And the cells for this one is 6 Callus, 6 Iceborne, 6 Overpower, 6 Rage, 6 Rage Hunter, 3 Discipline, and 3 Wild Frenzy. Almost exactly the same as the other build, with just the Aetheric Attunement switched out for the Catalyst because we're able to do it with this build. This does mean that we get much better use out of our potions. I do still end up having to repot on the run that I did, but I probably could have gotten away with not. But enough about builds, let's take a look at the runs. These are my first runs of the day, so don't expect anything spectacular. We are going to be tanking damage. All right, going first is the Malkarian Strikers, and we're just going to pot up and jump right in. He is rooted in place in the middle of the arena, so we're going to want to teleport on into him and immediately try to get a mantra up. He's going to do his little charge attack here. This allows us to get an easy interrupt right off the bat and set him down right into an overpower state. Very good for our damage and very, very good for our fight overall. Once he's up though, he's just going to start doing his regular attacks, tail slaps, tail swings, overhead, somersault attacks, all the usual Ragetail Gnasher attacks. Just go ahead and dodge them. They're all pretty easy attacks to dodge overall, so you shouldn't have any problem with them. Once again, we're just trying to keep in mind that we're positioning ourselves between him and the pylon to make sure that we are not getting struck by them, as well as also trying to hit his head as much as possible. Keep in mind we're using the Drask Strikers right here, so we get that 30% additional damage to his head, and so we're just hard focusing this head, trying to get as much use out of that unique effect as we possibly can. Once he enraged, we want to get away as soon as possible, and we want to get away enough that he's going to be out of range of any ability, and then when he's done enraging, we teleport back into his head, and this should cause him to do another interruptible attack. If we interrupt this, we immediately get rid of his shield and we can go back into business as usual. Time to repot, and he is tail slapping, which means that we're just going to get away and repot up. Anytime he's tail slapping and enrage, I would just want to get away from him entirely. There's no good openings for attacks here, and you're just going to end up taking too much damage. So just get away, heal back up, and then go back into the fight when he's done tail slapping. We get a shock proc here, which is very nicely timed and allows us to get in tons of damage to finish him off. And he's dead. Easy peasy fight. I think this is my preferred build, and I definitely recommend this one over the next one. But if you guys do not like this one, then we can definitely move on to the next one. So moving on to the Torque build. Once again, we're just potting up and heading right on in. This time we don't have the teleport to get into him, so we're just going to have to walk on up to him. We do get the same opening though. We get a mantra and before his does a slide, but I mistimed the dodge and get hit. That's okay though. We still land the interrupt, which is the important part, and get our overpower state and lots of damage in. And then once he gets up, we're just going right back into the fight. Same thing. Trying to position ourselves near his head. We don't get the 30% additional damage, but I am still looking for the additional stagger damage that we deal to his head so I can get a good stagger state. As well as if we're hard focus apart, I get a part break, which improves my time by 5 seconds. So always a good thing. And then also keeping in mind where the pylons are in the fight and trying to position myself so that I'm on the other side of him as the pylons are, so that the pylon or so that the orbs hit him instead of me. For some of the fight, we're not able to do that, but that's okay. There's not a lot of pylons up, and we kind of just dodge them. And then we go right into Enrage, and same thing, get away. We're actually going to do a little trick here. We're going to get a mantra up off the pylon so that we have dash available back into him. But we actually get lucky and we get a part break here. That is not usual, but we're set up for success either way. If we didn't get that part break, we were going to dodge right into his head and get a interrupt state anyways. So it didn't really matter. We actually lost a little bit of overpower damage anyways from that, but I'm definitely not going to complain about getting his leaf shield away on a technicality. So I'll take it. We lose a clap here, which never feels good, but you know what? We're just going for sub 3s. It doesn't matter too bad. I do repot here. I think I could have gotten away without repotting. I think we get one clap in before he dies. Armbreaker and a Tempest Form. Yeah, not even a single clap and he dies. So we could have definitely been okay without repotting here. But better safe than sorry, and a extra use of pots is definitely worth a easy sub 3. But our time is worse than our Valkyrian Striker build, so I definitely still do recommend that. But as you can see, both of these are very well within our sub 3. Hope this helps you guys, and good luck this week.